my name is Kylie. I'm one of the seniors. I'm a kinesiology major, and you'll learn more about us as we go through this panel. It's just kind of a quick introduction. I'm going to let Christian introduce himself. We're going to go through our current scholars in the room, and I'm asking you guys to come forward when you do that, just so it'll be caught on video.
Okay, so my name is Christian Strong, and I'm a chemical engineering junior here at UTSA. So we're going to go ahead and start with our introductions?
Yeah,
okay.
so to the front.
Like one at a time if we can like shrink and
Slow shrink.
Oh.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Double
Double agent.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm a sophomore and I'm an environmental science major.
My name is Austin. I'm a senior and I'm studying biomedical engineering. My name is Jack. I'm a junior currently studying public health.
My name is Xander. I'm a senior. I'm studying chemistry.
Daisy. I'm a junior. I'm studying psychology.
Josh, I'm a sophomore studying sociology.
I'm Amber. I'm a third year student. I'm studying psych
And Catherine, I'm a freshman and I'm studying psychology.
Hey guys, I'm Edgar. I'm a third year kinesiology major, biomining pre-med.
I'm Eileen. I'm a third year. I'm so sorry. I'm a third year and I'm studying sociology and political science. Sorry about that.
Good, okay. And then we're just going to start off with a little informational presentation. We're going to take probably about 20 minutes to do that. We're going to do our panel with 4 different scholars, although the rest of them in the room will be able to answer any questions if you have something more direct. And then we'll go through kind of what we have planned, give you guys a little break, stretch your legs, kind of brainstorm any questions that you might have, and then you'll be welcome to ask them when we come back from that break. Sound good? Great. Okay, so Christian, kick it off.
Yeah, so we're just going to get started with this. Again, it's like kind of a general overview, maybe some stuff you've heard before, but we're just going to go through it. So the UTSA Top Scholar Program, these are some of the main topics that we'll be covering. So the program benefits and requirements, as well as selection, which is the event that we're at right now, and opportunities across campus for scholars, both when they're in Top Scholar and after they graduate. So the selection process this weekend and the beginning of next week. So basically, obviously, y'all have already been through the application review, which was holistic and involved, multidisciplinary perspectives on y'all's applications. The finalists, y'all have been invited here for the selection events, which include, today, which is like formal dinner and stuff, and then tomorrow or Tuesday. It doesn't matter. Which you'll get to do stuff around campus, like a tour, meet faculty, attend a class. This should be fun.
Double check your individual schedules in your little folders to make sure you know which day you're coming.
Yeah, and they're all personalized for like your specific interests. So one Top Scholar at UTSA. So as I hope y'all are all aware, it's a top tier university, top faculty and students. The purpose, or one of the main purposes of the program, is to capitalize and try and draw in talent from Texas, as well as enhancing the diversity of the Honors College and the Top Scholar program, and trying to help generate leaders that can create change across campus, and then hopefully following that across the world. So in that little summary, there are kind of 3 main pillars that kind of hold up the rest of the program, right? So those are knowledge, leadership, and service, which those are our main things. So, okay, so just trying to pinpoint each one of those or kind of how they relate to one another. So the mentoring, that's a really big thing at UTSA and in the Top Scholar program. So faculty mentors, basically, depending on your major and stuff, they can be invaluable for providing connections, for career opportunities later, for graduate school. They basically help broaden your network. And that's definitely one of the main things that interested me about the Top Scholar program. I feel really lucky with the mentors that I've had, and my main mentor, who actually is photographed up here mentoring another Top Scholar. So that kind of shows also that there's a lot of communication between cohorts and a lot of mentoring with one another. So oh hey, pharmaceutical chemistry, you should meet Dr. France. He's a great organic chemist here.
And so, to go over that, how many of you current scholars had a mentor within your first year? So that's pretty much everybody. So it is not you wait till you're a senior, because the people pictured here have already graduated and this was taken later in their time here in the program, but it starts from pretty much day one. You get a chance to kind of figure out who you might be interested in based on classes you're taking or something like that. Or Christy might have a suggestion if you're not quite into your classes in your major yet. And then you get the opportunity to figure out like, maybe this person works or it might be someone else, and you don't have to solidly commit to anyone, but you get to start that process really early on.
Yeah, and I think part of that too, and what's great about the program is, like Kelly mentioned, Christy might be able to connect you with somebody, and then maybe after, working in somebody's lab or something throughout your freshman year, you realize like, oh, as interesting as this topic is, it isn't really what I want to research, and you can transition, and maybe that mentor could recommend like, oh, there's this guy in computer science, I really think, it'd be great for you, so. So another thing, again, talking a little bit about knowledge, one thing that a lot of top scholars participate in, but is by no means like a requirement for everybody, is like academic research. So up here we have photographed like some different instances, different types of research work that students do at UTSA. There's a lot of research labs at the university, a lot of funded opportunities. So here's just some examples of people presenting research or something kind of career related. So, pretty cool. So following that, these three pillars, even though we kind of presented them like distinct, like leadership and service, it's probably clear to you all that a lot of times they kind of go hand in hand with one another. So like for example, if you're doing some type of community service project, it might involve leadership because you might have to reach out to the community that you want to work with or the community partners that you want to work with. It might involve knowledge because you have to do preliminary research, right? And then obviously it would involve service when you actually go there the day of. So these are, again, just some more images of different experiences that people have participated in, but they don't represent everything that people have done. And here's some more kind of like the same, or similar activities. And so as far as service, I think one thing to highlight, there's a little stretch of road outside UTSA, and I think that's a good opportunity to show not only like the service aspect, but kind of the community building aspect. So we break up into like small kind of subgroups, and we'll go along our stretch of road, like the Adopt a Spot sign, right? And we can pick up garbage and stuff, and we collect it. And at the end of the year, they tend to have like some type of, where they try to tally up like who got the most garbage or whatever. So it's kind of like a little competition. And then a lot of students also participate in Voices, which is just like a general volunteering organization on campus, and allows like students to be connected. And it's great like freshman year especially, because they just volunteer, or they organize volunteer trips or volunteer experiences with all different types of things across San Antonio, and they organize carpooling and stuff, so it's really good to get like your feet in the water. So I touched a little bit on the aspect of community building, and this is kind of some of the more informal perks of being in the program. So here's just some images of like top scholars doing things together, and even though a lot of us have different majors and stuff, we tend to have similar interests, maybe outside the classroom, so there tend to be like groups of students that might go to dinner or something, or go to like the MLK March, and just represent the university and like get to know each other better. So, and then it's not also like segregated by like class level, so like sophomores and juniors, everybody's kind of.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize, this is the first night that a few of the people in this room like ever stepped on campus, and so it doesn't wait. It's not like oh, okay, I'll see you once a month or something like that. It's, we all move in at the same time, we all go to orientation and retreat at the same time, and so you really get to know people quickly, and you'll see them a lot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things, like kind of with some of the service stuff too, even outside of like these social things, there will sometimes be projects where like people are connected because they're in Top Scholar, and then they'll maybe like lead a service project or something. So that can be like, again, the idea of like building a network or whatever on UTSA's campus. So just a description, again, kind of broadly of what the program is or what the scholarship program is. So it's a merit-based last dollar scholarship that includes enrichment programming. So in addition to the financial aspect, there's this whole other half, right? So, as evidenced by your little candidate folders and your meetings tomorrow, we try to make everything very personalized for individual students' experiences, and we don't it's not like, oh, everybody in this program is one type of major. It's all different types of majors represented. I believe all the colleges now too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's aimed at very high achieving students. So what are some of the benefits of being in Top Scholar? So here are some of them listed here. Again, they're kind of things that we've been, that we're just trying to really drive home, the key points, right? So, the idea of a community of fellow scholars, the support network through some of the staff and faculty members, some of the experiences, including studying abroad, mentoring, research opportunities, all of these things that Top Scholar can help you find. and can help you even in like applying for some of these opportunities. And then also, it gives you, I think in some sense, like a unique voice in the Honors College and sometimes in the campus at large for enacting change. So here's just some images of some scholars that have studied abroad in different places they've been.
So I'm gonna emphasize where all these people are.
Yeah.
So we've got South Africa, we've got Italy, we've got, that's probably when she went to Portugal, but she went a couple different places, so you can't be entirely sure. Carolyn went to Germany, but I think she took this picture in Scotland or Ireland. And then that looks to be, oh gosh, that's probably Sarah. Again, that's why she went.
Italy? But that doesn't look like Italy.
That's what I was like, that doesn't look like Italy, but again, they do a lot of other travel, so it's kind of hard to tell. And then Corey went to South Korea.
And then, so there's all different types of programs that people will.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
not
Honors
like
College.
you have like we all go on this one study abroad. Because there are some programs that do have things like that where they say, here's where you go, we all do it together. You get your choice of program. As long as it is approved, you get to choose whatever interest suits you.
Yeah, and so like one fear that some students will have is like, oh, it might not, apply to me, but there's so many programs out there that there's almost something for everyone. And maybe there might be fewer for certain majors, but there definitely are opportunities. So again, one of the big benefits that a lot of people enjoy, I know myself included, is orientation, which we do yearly. And again, this is right after we've moved in, typically. So for the freshman class, it's like kind of a new experience for them. And for everybody else, we've been through it a couple of times, but it's really an enjoyable experience and a great like introduction to the program more formally. And that's at the beginning of the school year, so it'd be like in fall. And then here's just some general images of on-campus housing, which again, I think you'll learn a little bit more about that during the tours. And then here's a slide on some of the basic like eligibility requirements of the program. So again, if you have specific questions on that type of stuff, we can do our best to address it. And then, so what or who is the top scholar? So again, here's just some images to kind of get like the gears turning or whatever of some things that people have done while at UTSA and after. So I feel like I have to address the photo in the middle. So that's Cameron, who's a former top scholar, graduated last year. And he's working right now as a software engineering intern at Google. And then here's some of the Archer scholars, which I don't know if they've seen the video.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
an introduction.
Yeah, so those are some of the students that were in the video. It might be kind of hard to tell. And then over there is
Kaylee. Yeah, so Kaylee participated in the national parks. Yeah, no, please describe it.
So that is at Caprock Canyon. This was a trip that we took with the Honors College, so they were only allowing honors students to go on the trip, which is one of the other perks of the Honors College. But we took a 17-day hiking and camping trip going to 9 different national parks and 2 state parks, which is really awesome.
That was really cool. And again, here's some other just kind of like experiential photos, just kind of random different things. Get here. Okay. And here we have some like kind of testimonials. I feel kind of weird reading it because it's not me, but I guess I'll read it.
Yeah.
This is okay. So this was Sarah Dubrell. She graduated, and she's going to Caltech right now. So graduate school is testing and requires long hours of deep thinking and running experiments. Fortunately, I arrived at Caltech prepared to meet these challenges thanks to my time as a top scholar. Being surrounded by a supportive network of mentors helped direct my career goals, and having other scholars to commiserate with and draw inspiration from helped me develop the personal and intellectual skills needed for my chosen path. That's funny.
And you'll meet Eric at dinner, so
Yeah.
we'll still read it to you, but you can ask him more
You ask him
questions about.
yourself.
Ask him more about his experience because he's still around UTSA. He's working on his PhD right now, so there's still a lot of relationships that he has with the program.
Exactly, yeah. So the Top Scholar community provides a support system of friends, mentors, and peers which can hold each other academically accountable and encourage each other socially, allowing students to be more engaged in their holistic education program than they would be without such a community. So that's kind of where we're going to leave it. Well, here's a little photo. But And that's like that's the whole group right there. So there's us right now. Well, everyone that was here while we took the photo.
Yeah,
Everyone-
for students
Yeah,
who studied
sorry.
abroad or whatnot,
Yeah.
like Nathan you'll see with the knee brace and the camera is not in this picture because he was then abroad in New Zealand. Xander was not in this picture because he was also in New Zealand. Taylor is not in this picture because she was in Russia. She did like 3 different things at once, and so she was gone for a long time and continues to still be gone because she's doing so much. She was gone for something in this picture.
But anyways, with that, I think we're going to kind of end off on this portion.
Yeah, do you guys have any questions about anything in here
Yeah.
before we get to the panel? Even like any pictures? Yeah.
Is the study abroad required? It kind of sounded like everyone does
Yes, yeah, so people do it in different formats. It doesn't mean that you have to go abroad for a whole semester. There are short-term programs or long-term programs. Daisy did one that was a week long.
3 weeks.
3 weeks long in Costa Rica, staying at an environmentally sustainable little retreat center, doing like some mindfulness and sustainability work with the Honors College. There are people that have done more of like a study away versus study abroad. So Luke, who will be at dinner tonight, went and worked on like a military base as an intern there. So even just doing that away from UTSA was still his experience. There are people who do multiple, if you like to do multiple and you can make it work time-wise and financially, then that's also an option. So like I said, Taylor did some stuff I think in England and then in Russia, and she's currently in DC. So there are a lot of people who've done a lot of things.
And the top scholars program helps finance the study abroad
Correct.
programs. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So depending on your choice of program, it depends. What you choose then affects how much is covered, depending on the cost of the program. But that is something that once you get in, then you can start worrying about numbers and whatnot. But it's something like we've had people go abroad for just a short time. We've had like I went abroad for a semester. Who else went abroad for a semester here? Yeah, okay,
Semester and a
so
half.
2 of us, yeah. Who went, oh, that's right, I don't have rear view mirrors. Who went abroad for the summer? A couple people in the summer. So there's really like a bunch of options, and depending on what you pick, funding is kind of the scale.
Yeah. Because there's some programs that you can apply for that are fully funded in and of themselves. So.
Yeah, and like they're, especially the ones through the university are very attainable in terms of like, everything is planned out for you, and usually they include airfare, and they are only like a couple $1,000s, which is crazy compared to what third-party programs cost. They're crazy cheap. Let me clarify that they're not crazy expensive. That is crazy cheap. So that is again something you can worry about when you get it. Yes.
So I know you said that it's not like the whole program goes abroad, but is it typically like student or students by themselves going abroad, or do they come students at a time?
So it depends. Like there's some weird situations where it's kind of worked out for people to go abroad together. Myself and Trey, we actually went to the University of Limerick in Ireland at the same time. Like I told him I was gonna go, and he's like, no way, that's where I was looking at. So we planned it intentionally to go together, and so like we stayed in the same housing facility. And we did that intentionally. There are a couple programs that are very popular with top scholars. So there's one that is a study abroad in Italy that a lot of people go to, that a couple of people have been at the same time, but that's also not a mandatory thing. You're always welcome if you want to try and figure that out with someone. You can get your schedules to line up. Totally an option. Otherwise, like especially in honors college, you'll know something going if you've gone an honors one. Yes.
For the study abroad, do you usually stay with another family abroad, or like?
That is totally up to whatever program you choose. So there are some people, like Eileen did a
Into the host family.
host family, but like,
Not when you want your food prepared for you.
yes, and yeah, like I lived in an apartment with 7 other people, and we had a fridge that was about yay tall, and it was great. But again, that's all dependent on your program, not anything mandated by Top Scholar. Your question?
So what networking opportunities does Top Scholar provide?
Yeah. So networking is really, again, an individualized thing. So you might get introduced to a professor in your field who then might also say, hey, I'm coming to this business event, or, well, tell me your major first.
Mathematics.
Okay, so they might have some sort of like field-related event and they say, hey, why don't you come with me? Like Kaylee has had this exact experience, I think.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, for example, tonight is a networking event.
Yes.
As well, but yeah, that did happen to me.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm voting exactly what happened to Kaylee.
Yeah.
And so it's things like that where it may not be every single event is like we say, okay, we brought in all the campus mathematicians, but we'll definitely get you introduced to people who can help you just kind of expand as you go.
And then kind of,
Sorry. Throughout the semester, we have meetings and we'll invite speakers to that. So you'll have people like from within the community, within UTSA, like, oh, this is the director of volunteering services, and so now you have her contact information to remember you because you're a top scholar. So things like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
and another thing too that a lot of people experience, like every once in a while you'll just kind of get a random email maybe from Christy, like, oh hey, I heard about this program or there's this event going on campus, did you hear about it? And it's like, oh wow, like I hadn't heard, there's like a mini research conference coming to campus, like, oh, and it's perfect, like this professor that I'm interested in, he's gonna be there, you know? So
Yeah,
that
things
type
like
of thing
that.
too, where it's kind of, it's not like totally formal, but it's somewhat, you know, like, oh, hey,
You're given a
here's just
lot
an
of
idea.
opportunities
Yeah.
to find out those kinds of things.
I know it's kind of in the name, but what exactly is like the role of a mentor? Like when do you get them?
Yeah.
What do they really do?
Yeah, no, that's a totally great question. I totally understand that. So it really, again, depends on the person. So for me, my faculty mentor, I worked in her lab for 2.5 years now, and so she's currently supervising my thesis. And then I work in her lab, and like that's kind of all that we do, but that's all that I need her to do. Where there are other people where, like Amber has had her research professor connect her with her study abroad experience doing research in Germany, and like she figured that out through her mentor. So it really depends on what you need. Some people, like, you have to get kind of bold and like asking for things if you want something. Like, they can write recommendation letters for you. They can help you find experiences. Sometimes you might say, hey, I'm really interested in this project. And they might say, hey, I know someone who's great for that. And again, that's kind of like mentor networking, kind of go hand in hand. So they can really do a broad variety.
Do you only get one or
You can, like, if you are encouraged to have one from the very beginning, like Christian said, it doesn't have to be that same person the whole time. So, like, I've only had one for 2.5 years because the one that I had left the university, so I had to get a different one. But there are people that have multiple on a very frequent basis.
I've got like 3 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very common. It doesn't have to be like, this is my best friend now and we're gonna only talk to each other. It's like you can get information from anyone and definitely feel empowered to reach out to your professors. Like a lot of the time when you email them or like if you're in a class or something like that, even if you read their bio on the UTSA website and you said, hey, I'm really interested in your research about this time. Is there a good time that I can come to your office and learn more about that? They always want to talk about the research or whatever they're doing. And so especially if then you say, no, name, top scholar. Then that's usually they're like, yes. So,
It'll be very informal. Like I know for mine, I drop in like once every month, and I'll just talk to him in his office hours. And just like, hey, how's your? Because like my mentor is like a lawyer that also teaches at UTSA. It's like, oh, like here's some tips on law school. Like, oh, how's your practice going? Or just someone to talk to.
And so do us as top scholar students, do we like choose our mentor? We're
So-
responsible for that?
yeah, if you need help, Christy has a great network of people. So we've had people as math majors come by. So she might say, hey, you know, it's probably who you're going to meet with on Monday or Tuesday, depending on your schedule, that is already a friend of the program, and so that door is already open for you. But if you wanted help to approach someone else, say you saw someone's bio and you were like, this person seems awesome and I want to know them, then Christy would say, hey, I already know that person, let me make this introduction. Or she might say, here's a great way to reach out to them, or stop by their office hours or something like that.
Like I remember for me, I actually met my current mentor at the Top Scholar dinner at Selection, and I remember it was like, oh, we were from the same small town or whatever, and so it was just. But I actually wanted to ask, do you think that it would be a good time now to go ahead
bring
and
them-
we can
yeah.
bring up the and we could do some
Yep.
guided questions for a little bit?
Hello. So now we're going to go for some of the more broad questions. Yeah, up close and personal. They put a lot of chairs in this room, put like 50 something, and I was like, we don't have that many
Yeah.
candidates. Like, there were chairs all along that wall. There's another up here. And I was like, that's too many chairs.
This is a fire hazard.
That is a fire hazard. So, yeah. So we're gonna start again with some more vague kind of questions, not as specific as like.
And we can always come back to those questions you guys
Yes.
have. We
Yeah,
have
if you
plenty
guys
of
want to
time.
interject with something, you don't have to like remember it for the next hour. If you want to ask a follow-up question to something, you're more than welcome to. So the first one.
Do you want to reintroduce yourselves?
Yeah, that's all right. Maybe in a little more.
So I can start since I said. So I'm Josh, I'm second year sociology major. I have 2 minors in civic engagement and professional writing and rhetoric.
Where are you from, Josh?
I am from San Antonio, technically. I'm from San Antonio.
Well, tell us why you're technically from San Antonio.
I'm technically from San Antonio because I've lived here since like 5th grade, but I moved around a lot when I was a kid. So like I wasn't born here.
Hey guys, I'm Amber. This is my 3rd year. My majors are psychology and English with a statistics minor. My current research is dealing with a lot of political instability, and if you have questions about labs and stuff, feel free to throw them my way. I'm also from San Antonio.
I'm Catherine, I'm a freshman, I'm majoring in global affairs and psychology. I'm from Dallas, technically, like, probably no one knows where that is, so, Dallas, Texas.
Dallas adjacent people are nodding their heads.
I'm Edgar. I'm a 3rd year kinesiology major. I'm a bio minor, and I'm pre-med. I'm from the Valley, from Mission. So I am not from San Antonio, so I'm definitely an out of town.
Alright, so we'll start with the biggest question. What made you guys pick UTSA?
I can start. Honestly, this program made me pick UTSA. I had come to UTSA a couple times before. I know my sister had toured years before I was even close to college. I really liked the campus, but this program, I remember coming like Sunday night, like this day, 2 years ago, and realizing that this community was really what I wanted to be part of, like regardless of what other universities gave me offers. So definitely this program, the community that offers is what brought me.
Yeah, so I'm from here, and initially I didn't want to stay in San Antonio or anywhere near it. But then we had these events, and I was like, this is a really awesome group of super nerdy people. And I just wanted to stay around that, so luckily I was able to do that.
Yeah, I think for me, I definitely wanted to have that experience away from home. That wasn't too far from home either. So 4 hours is something that I can manage within a day to drive, and something that my parents also thought of. So when they were thinking of, oh, when can we visit and things like that. And this is actually one of the first universities I ever stepped foot on, so it definitely kind of like just felt like home, especially being here for selection and everything about it. So yeah.
What has been your best or like most favorite memory of your time here at UTSA so far?
I would want to say that for starting last spring, I got just like this random confidence given to me, especially by Christy. Like, hey, you should start shadowing, and I on a whim I had gone to a UTSA football game and saw that one of the sponsors was a sports medicine doctor, and just looked him up, and then I was like, found an email. And I sent an email, and I was like, hey, I'd like to shadow this doctor. And within like 20 minutes, I had a response. And they're like, which doctor would you like to shadow out of our practice? And I was like, I wasn't ready for this quick. So, and that transformed to a semester long of shadowing that transitioned to shadowing another doctor in their practice. So that's definitely something that I really enjoyed.
Who do they treat, Edgar?
They do treat UTSA as well as the San Antonio Spurs, the Rampage for their remaining time here in San Antonio. They also were treating all the football teams, all 8 football teams in the country from the Alliance of American Football, which is no longer a League Two, but they've treated so many athletes. So you're talking Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and other Spurs greats.
I know all you people are so enticed by sports.
Yeah.
I feel
Yes, this is
I
my
had to
life.
ask because it gets them a little more excited and I need to say. Catherine, favorite memory?
My favorite memory, is probably just like the nights that my like cohort, we have like movie nights and stuff, and we all like, scream and like talk about like Barbara's Trust, and like, we just like let it hang out, and then like we just like joke around and like hang out, and it's just like really fun to like have that like community and stuff, and just hanging out, and like for Christmas we watched like Home Alone, which was so funny, and I don't know, they're just like those little memories. There's like multiple of them, but like I don't know, they're just like good times.
I think for me, so a couple years back, worked on my first rap album.
Not kidding.
No.
There's a music video.
Unfortunately. But we devised this dance for one of the songs, and it was at a top scholar meeting, and we had every single scholar stand up and do the dance in unison for the video. That was pretty chaotic.
You can still view it on YouTube when you leave.
But don't.
Just search up buckets. Search up buckets.
One of my favorite memories being at UTSA. It's probably gonna be interesting because I'm gonna talk about it a lot, but I'm a news editor at the independent paper here, and so finding out that like journalism was what I wanted to do was like it's like a switch turn, like something that I'd never really known what I wanted to do. Then I got there and realized like, wow, like I found it, like I found what I wanted, and I wouldn't be able to do that anywhere else up here.
Did you feel like you were supported in making that change?
Absolutely. Christy's been very supportive of me working there, of me like taking more time to be there because she knows how important it is to me professionally. And so she's been completely supportive of doing what she can to help me continue to pursue that.
And then Catherine, you've also had a major change, right? Change major.
Yeah. So whenever I came to selection, I was a criminal justice major, and then I like talked to some people that were like interested in what like I wanted to do, and they like opened my eyes a little bit to like the different possibilities that I had, and so then I changed it. And so I just like I came once I was accepted and like came into UTSA. I just told Christy, I was like, hey, I'm not doing that anymore. And then I told her that now I'm doing global affairs and psychology, and she was more than supportive, because it's a really easy like switch, and you have more than enough time to make up your mind about it. So she was really supportive, and everyone else was for like helping me figure it out and making sure that like I have the resources I need to do that.
Okay, let's see. What has been the most surprising part of the Top Scholar program?
I think for me, coming here and realizing that not everyone has to do research, that I was like in that mindset that, I'm coming in, I have to, especially like looking at different programs that were so research based that I was like, I have to do research. So in order to be in this program, I need to do that. And I was like, I don't need to do that at all. But then I realized I actually wanted to do research, that you had that balance of everyone just like chiming in on your feelings about things and figuring out, okay, is this actually what I want to do? And making sure that if it's truly something that you want to pursue, that you have that support, but if you don't want to continue it after a year or so, you also have the support that, you know what, it's time that you focus on your own growth, and that path may be different from others.
For me, so it was surprising kind of selection, but like more so like what it was, like I got to know like the other scholars, is that like they weren't a bunch of geniuses that like didn't know how to like have fun or like hang out or like be actual humans, because like coming in, you're like, oh my gosh, all these people have these amazing scholarships, and like they're probably geniuses and they're probably so much smarter than me, and a lot of like imposter syndrome feelings. And so coming into selection, like getting to know them, and then like after I was accepted and hanging out with them, like just like in the office or whenever I saw them, it really like I felt a lot more comfortable, and it was surprising to see like how much community there is, because you hear about it, everyone talks about it, and it's like wow, like it's a real thing, and these people agree to like support you and challenge you to be the best that you are. So.
Yeah, once you watch someone struggle to get off of the giant beanbag we have in our office, there's zero imposter syndrome. Everyone is human.
You'll walk in once a week and find me there.
I think for me it was have. I think that's a really big priority for this group as a whole, is like making sure that we are represented well and that we have greater opportunities because of that. That's really cool.
One of the surprising things for me about the program was like how much confidence it would give me. Like, because the way Christy like talks about things, it's like, oh, just email them. I'm like, I can just do that. Like, one of the first opportunities I had was we had a speaker who came to one of our meetings. I think in my first year, to talk about his research, his background, and then I was just like, I'm gonna email him like right after the meeting ended. Like as he stepped out of the room, I was pulling my computer out, and I was able to I had the opportunity to do work, and he let me into some of his master's classes that he was teaching at the downtown campus. And I don't think I would be able to do that if I didn't think I could. And I think programs really give me a lot of that.
How did the Top Scholar program help you transition to college?
For me, it was huge because I'm first generation. So the lot of stuff I just didn't know. Didn't have parents talk to me, didn't have siblings who talked to me about it. I was able to find upperclassmen who were super helpful with things as simple as registering for classes to actually deciding a degree plan to what is a fellowship, what is a larger program, things that I hadn't even considered as being things that are real. And so being shown that by upperclassmen was probably the greatest thing that the program has as far as my transition.
Yeah.
I think especially right when you come in, as a first year student, there are so many things happening, so many events that we have to go to, or want to go to. There's always somebody going, whether it's even just to dinner or to something on campus. So having somebody constantly saying in a group chat, hey, this is where I'm going, anybody want to ride, anybody want to come with me, really embracing those types of activities was really cool. And there are a lot of them.
Yeah, it was similar for me. Just having your cohort that you come in with, everyone else that's accepted, you're all in the same boat, you're all going to college and you're all from high school, and so you're all nervous and you all kind of know each other, and you have that the Top Scholar orientation to get to know each other and get to know everything before you start your classes, and it's really helpful to just not to get to know just your cohort, but everyone in Top Scholar, because then you feel more comfortable with them, and then the sophomores, the first couple of weeks were really intentional about reaching out. I mean, hey, y'all, we're going to dinner right now. Y'all can come and join us. Y'all can get lost or whatever. And so we would have someone to sit with. So it just really helps giving you that community, heading into college instead of having to find it.
Yeah, I think also for me, especially being out of town, we have such diversity as far as geographic locations and where we grew up to, that we have someone that's either from the same area or at least close by that can relate to us. So we know exactly the type of culture that we grew up in. So Valley culture is very different from say Dallas culture. So as far as for me, for the Valley, I always knew okay, I want to find people from the Valley who actually help me out, and sure enough, most of my cohort is from the Valley. So we always form those connections, but Top Scholar helped facilitate that as well, that we could not only just go amongst ourselves, but within our cohort, but across cohort also.
Do you guys have any advice just for today?
I think at dinner, lots of faculty will be there, lots of professors, and don't be intimidated by that. It's hard talking to people that you're not familiar with, but they're just as goofy as any other person. So just make sure to share your life.
I think you guys just need to stay patient with yourselves. Don't feel like you're trying to one-up everyone. Just be who you are. Be genuinely you, and that's all we want from you guys. And that's what everyone wants. We want to see everyone of you guys succeed. We want to see you guys grow as UTSA Roadrunners too. So just go for it.
Yeah, the whole point of this weekend is we're one weekend time.
Few days.
I guess, yeah. Is for us to get to know you, for you all to get to know us. So we're not here to try and trick you or try to trip you up and say something you don't mean or whatever. We just really want to get to know you. So for your interview, for all of your time, really just be yourself, you know, and that's all we want to see, and we want to make sure that we're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us, so yeah.
For tonight, I would say, obviously there are a lot of nerves, like, it was not that long ago that I was one of these, especially for Catherine, it was just last year. But like, you know, use time here to either to talk to someone, a scholar who is something you're interested in, or to a faculty member if they are something related to your field, like, you know, utilize it. And don't let your nerves like just take over and like lock you down from talking to people. That's what we want, just to be able to speak with you.
Yeah, just from like a human nature self-care thing, like if you have any negative talk in your brain today, try and tone it down a little bit. Like, it happens to everybody, but it's like a legit thing. Like, don't psych yourself out and let it affect how you present to us, because like we're all chosen for a reason, so you deserve to be here. So not like don't showboat, but also like you deserve to be here.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I grew up, like, playing sports from, like, the time that I was 3. So when I got here, I knew that that was my mentality, that my safe space. So I took it like if I was actually going to go into, like, a game. I was like, I know I've prepared for this. I've put in the work. I've done everything. And I was just, like, toning down all that noise in your head and just saying, I'm just going to be me, and let's go for it. So yeah, you hear a lot of sports analogies from me.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna ask you guys kind of some more specific question. So first I'm gonna hear from Catherine about how you attended some national conferences in your first semester.
Yeah, so the biggest one I attended, it was called WACA, it's the World Affairs Councils of America. It's kind of weird. But so I got sent to it both by Christy and by one of the head of like one of my club, which is Parliament that I'm in. And so I was just like, why not? So I applied and I talked to different people and I like got advice in Top Scholar, and then I got accepted. And so it was really awesome to see like everyone's like support from Top Scholar. They were like, yes, that's so awesome, that's so cool. And so I got to go to DC for that. It was for like a couple of days, and I got to go. It was like a professional conference pretty much. Like people paid a lot of money to be there, but what I applied for was like a scholarship to send me there for free. And I got to hear like past Secretary of Defenses, past Secretary of States, really awesome people, and I got to talk to them, exchange like information with some of them, and that was really awesome. And then I've also been to 2 Model UN conferences through my Model UN's club, and Top Scholars helped with with going to those as well. And so yeah, it's been really awesome to have that support.
How did you get involved in Model UN?
So there's a Model UN club on campus. I'm actually an officer for it, and so I started and I started going, and then they'll like the person in charge, he'll like send you out opportunities and stuff, and then like you be as a group you go to conferences. So
Josh, tell us about your journey with my son.
Journey.
Well, because you've gone from A to B.
So I started, I think, last spring, like last March. I started writing with the Paisano, which is the independent student newspaper on campus. I started writing I showed up to a meeting, picked up a pitch to write a thing. It was something political. It was an opinion article. I'm not going to talk about what it was. So I started writing that. I got more involved, became a staff writer. Eventually became an assistant to one of the editors, and now I'm the editor myself, news editor. And it has been probably my favorite thing I've done here, because it's what I want to do professionally, and it showed me that's what I want to do professionally. And through that, we have alum that are working on Nat Geo or LA Times, and so through that I'm able to find networks to do what I want to do. And Paisano has really given me the direction that I want for my life, for my career. So it has been awesome. So since from March to now, from just like a writer on the side to news editor. And anyone, you can have any major. I'm sociology, not communications or anything.
Yeah, Amber also does stuff in Paisano as well. Like, it's not her full-time thing either, but she still does it.
Yeah, we have math majors. We have a business side, so if you're into business, we're a nonprofit, so we have to have people who do finances. We have ads, multimedia, so like anyone can be involved in any major, any discipline, at any like classification, freshman to senior, or even grad students. So it's really an opportunity.
Amber, why don't you tell us about your experience this summer in Germany?
Yeah, so last summer I was in Göttingen, Germany, so like almost dead center of Germany. And I went for a research program there studying group dynamics, so like how and why people make the decisions they do when they're with other people. But it was kind of cool because there was a lab I wanted to work with and a professor specifically I wanted to work with, so I just sent him a random email, like, here's my resume, please can I come over? And he was like, yeah, come on. So we ended up turning it into like a 3-month-long internship program. So they were teaching me to code and I was doing data collection, so like in charge of a full experiment from start to finish with human subjects. So yeah, and that was, of course, like through Top Scholar.
And it's not over.
No. So I still am in contact with that lab and we communicate pretty often. Send each other new research to read. We're trying to work on a project together, do like a multi-campus study, so we'll see what happens.
And memes, they do send each other memes.
Yes.
Again, they are people that promise we never gonna robots. Alright, and then Edgar, tell us about your internship that you did and then what you were looking at going forward.
Yeah, so I also did a 6-week internship in Barcelona this past summer at it was kind of a combination of a physical therapy and personal training clinic. So I wanted to go see more of a holistic approach to understanding everything that goes into treating an athlete. So I wanted to see, I know I want to do more of the surgery side, but what else, what other obstacles can I see for patients that are going through the recovery process? And as they're transitioning after they're technically cleared, what else can I help them better with? So I was with that clinic for 6 weeks in Barcelona, and I got to meet some pretty interesting players. So I met a player from Manchester United, another one who is just a physical abnormality that they do not understand. So in Barcelona you see a very different approach to what the ideal body type would be for an athlete. So you're looking for more slender, more mobile athletes, where and from their perspective, the US sees more as like football players that can bench press 600 pounds, that type of athlete. And this soccer player was built like an NFL running back, but they didn't understand how he was also the fastest in the Premier League. So seeing that connection, we're like, we don't understand why, but it's working for him. And seeing that difference in training style and how they're able to treat people was definitely interesting. And while I was there, I actually met a tennis coach who had graduated from UTSA back in like 2013. So made a pretty cool connection. But yeah, I wanted to be able to carry that until later, going on to med school.
Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break. Let's take 10 minutes till 4:45, and you guys are welcome to go outside. The restrooms, if you don't know, are across the bridge. Grab some water, grab some snacks, you can bring them back in here. You can leave your stuff in here as well if you want, and brainstorm some questions.
Welcome back to part 2 right now.
What are you doing here? I feel like it would be so intimidating to sit out there and like answer questions and not know what they're gonna ask.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd be so scared.
No, you know how they're like, they're a little, yeah.
Ideal gas.
I
need
thought of
perfect.
that in like 3 years.
Is in ideal. I don't know what the opposite of that
The
is.
way we were taught perfect was this time I had to tell you to teach us how to do that more. Here's why. Because they introduced the span walk out.
No.
Yeah. And then you just keep
Yeah. I think so. Thank you.
what the unideal location of state is? The unideal state. Weird.
Sorry.
Oh.
Dr.
The
Strong.
Vanderwalls.
There it is. Did you ask him?
Yes, and then I was like, he started talking about equality, and I was like, hey, you dress up the problem? And I was like, I sure do, and I was the person who really said costumes. And then he told me that it was pastor, it was a princess, and then you're a serial killer, to which I responded, how do you dress as a serial killer? And he's like, oh, I don't know, I just watched some movies from the 70s and tried to go off of that. And then I was like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. And then he was like, do you see a video of my dogs? I was like, please. Freaking from the song.
Oh,
No.
Oh, okay. I was sorry. I was like, really? It's not like his name. I misheard it. Let's just
Kevin, Dr. Kevin, Kevin.
That's like my friend. His name is Mark Bodas. But he changed his name on Facebook to Mark Towers. What's happening?
He really wants to be Donald Trump. He wants Donald Trump to Donald Trump. So please, too.
And he went to Columbia to do pre-law because he wanted to do like advocacy in the valley. And you know what he's doing now? Investment banking. Like I saw this.
That is
I know. It was so funny because when he came back from both went to a student council at my high school, and it was like, and I was wearing like a t-shirt because I was doing a volunteer trip in the valley. And it was so close to me. And like he made like a suit and a shirt, like nothing on the bottom. It's like whatever, but it's just funny. Like oh, Mark, like he's always like, and then he's just like, he's like, oh hi Chris or whatever. He's just like sitting there like, and I'm like, oh, so you're studying like like pre-law type stuff or whatever you want to like, because you want to do local government. And he's like, oh, I changed, yeah, I gotta change of heart. I'm like, what are you doing now? He's like, well,
I just want to take a lot of time.
What is this?
oh, go into investment banking. I was like, I thought he was joking.
You want to do some arm stretches? Okay, shoulder down, medium. Yeah. And then bring your shoulder down. This way. Bring your shoulder down.
Now, I don't know what you want. I
You
just
don't feel it?
I don't, it's not good. I feel it here
Oh, no.
and here.
No.
It should go like all the way
Turn
through
your
your
arm
arm.
forward. Wrist here. Shoulder down. Feels good.
Yes.
Release it by bringing it. That's flat. So that's one. Number two, I guess I need more space for this one. You go behind you. Like it's like you're tipping a waiter. Get more bread.
Well, let's see if they have it.
Yeah, you should feel it in the back of your head. Just kind of like basically get a 45 until you feel it
I
in
feel
the
it
back.
down to like the elbow.
Oh yeah.
Bread is gone.
And then the last one is
Oh.
I don't know, I call it
Is it
Spider-Man.
pinky? I feel it like.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Like these two.
Yeah.
Well, these two. Yeah. So that's why if you're like writing for a long time, then you can do all those and loosen up your hands. Also, there's like a series of like hand movements that you can do that like move all the tendons individually to help prevent carpal tunnel. Yeah. I don't know. Something like half fist, whole fist. So that's why I was like trying to answer.
Yeah.
That's
Someone asked me about that today. and I was like,
That's my support. Oh,
And I forget the name. Yeah, sorry. I mean, like what is, I don't know, like, how does it work? It's like mostly classes.
yeah, so most of the time it is a lecture and lab kind of in one. So like all of our tables in the classroom are high-low like treatment meds. So like you can raise it up and work on it, and then we'll be like, okay, put your laptops to the side and somebody get on the table, and then like we'll do whatever we're talking
And
about.
this might be a silly question too. is it like, will students get on the table or?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay.
well, that's part of it. So, like,
I
while
didn't
we're
know that.
learning, like, in class, yes, but then we also have a community. There's also a community clinic that it's like no payment.
Yeah.
They have one that they treat people in who do like they do take insurance and stuff. It has a whole bunch of fancy technology in it, like crazy technology. And then they have like a family day where it's like, oh, Kaylee's elbow's been bothering her. I'm gonna bring her in.
Oh, so you
look
get
at
like
her elbow. Yeah.
you know, a friend, a
Yeah. Somebody calls me up and they say, hey, yo, my shoulders are really hurting and I don't know why. And I'd be like, come to the clinic, Christian.
Dude, my hip's been hurting.
And I say, Kaylee,
Can't help with that.
bring
Sorry.
it on in.
Here you go.
Where's faculty getting here?
45.
How are you doing? Up here, I'm tired. Happens to the best.
Hello.
What up, Renan?
Hi, Brennan Corbin, nice to meet you. I'm looking for Daniel, because my sister knows him.
Well,
you know
Daniel,
I don't know his
Okay.
I know he looks.
Well,
Christian was very excited.
Christian, are
No,
you?
I don't even say
You
Christian.
just,
It's fine.
well, I mean, alright, let's go.
Oh, okay. Do you know where he's at? Like what parking lot? Because I can try that. Bower. Okay. Bowerly. So he's right there, and we're right